What is going on, guys? Shane Fighter 4 here with exciting for today. And we're gonna do season 1, episode 3 of the mini series. The top 100 players in Major League Baseball. We are
hmm
number at 80 right now. So
hmm
if you are tuning in now, we suggest you go back to episode 1 to know what it's
hmm
all about. Well, if you don't want to, we're gonna tell you what it's about right now. So we're doing current and veterans and obviously retired
hmm
players that played in Major League Baseball throughout this whole history.
hmm
So our list has been very competitive, I should say. But we're
Yeah.
gonna do number 80. Number 80 is Vladdy, aka Vladimir Guerrero. The father,
Senior
senior,
or junior?
father, not junior,
Okay, okay.
father, the father.
Oh, I just said yeah. Okay, yep.
Gotta go with Vladdy here, number 80. A well deserved, well, very good player.
Nice.
At
Yep.
number 80 is Vladdy.
Sweet.
Who is your 80?
Nice. So before I say, my like 80 through 71, and when we get into these two, this is definitely the most kind of spicy picks. I feel like, if I were to do it again, maybe I'd pick these people, maybe I wouldn't, but there's a lot of very hard people to rank, and I think a lot of placements and people that you're going to be surprised by, and I expect you to maybe disagree with a couple, but we'll see though, we'll see. But at number 80, in episode 1, we talked about roids. We have Mark McGuire. Now,
Yeah,
he ranks here because, 12-time All-Star, Gold Glove, not a great defender. Obviously he took a lot of roids. Um, it's tough to know exactly when he did and how much. My biggest thing with the steroids is like how I really have no idea how much it impacts your overall game. So like I'm kind of thinking of it as like, okay,
it's the
like
name
what would your
performance enhancing
statistics be?
drugs.
But like how much though? Like how much does it? Like what would your stats be without this? Like how much less? I'm is kind of what I'm getting at. And with Mark McGuire, I think like even in like his Oakland years, which is fairly safe to say is like no roids, he was a very good hitter. Like even without that, he drew a lot of walks. He hit a fair amount of homers, some doubles. He was an above average hitter. He's a very tough player to rank, but I think just because of like what he's accomplished, even like with the roids, so to say, like I do feel like he still deserves a place on here. Getting into the Hall of Fame is a whole nother question. I would probably say that's a no.
No, I don't
But
think he's a Hall of Famer.
I yeah, yeah, I felt like this was kind of a respectable place to put him, considering what he's done and his stats. I really couldn't consider putting him any higher than this, though. So
Number
we're off to a
79.
spicy start with 80, and it's only going to get spicier.
Number
Yes.
79. You met him earlier in the list. He is a current player,
Oh boy.
Paul
Okay.
Goldschmidt.
Okay. Pretty similar rankings.
Yeah, people's gonna say you put him higher than Paul Molitor, um, Gray Baggio, all these PB Reese. Well, you gotta look at the eras too,
Mm-hmm.
as well, and you gotta compare them. What they be what they be productive in this era, and we should do a video on this later. Which
Mm-hmm.
players would not be successful in today's era? You already know
Okay.
what I'm gonna say about that, though. But that's gonna be on another story. So number 79 is Paul Goldschmidt.
Okay. Sweet. Um, okay. This is probably the pick. Like that I think you're really going to shake your head at, but hear me out. Hear me out. I'll say what my reasoning before I say the name, right? Okay, see, you're already okay. He's a current player. He's you know he has very good stats. He's a very good hitter. He draws a lot of walks. He can hit home runs. He can hit for average, for power. He's been a very good hitter
And guess.
for the second for a couple teams, and you know, this pick is based off of like how I think his career is going to go. He's still a very young player, and what he's accomplished in his first couple or in his first 7 seasons as a young player, I think him getting more into his prime will make him even better. What is your guess?
Is it Otani?
Ah, incorrect.
Oh, does he put the Yankees?
He does.
Judge.
Ah,
No?
wrong. It is Juan.
Wow.
It is Juan Soto. It is Juan
All right, that's not
Soto.
bad. That's not bad. I actually do have respect for Juan Soto, though.
Okay, okay,
I
okay.
do.
There we
I
go.
do have
Um,
respect for Juan Soto.
you might, yeah. He walks a ton. He has an extremely good eye for the baseball. He can hit a lot of home runs. And overall, he's been a fantastic hitter. And he's only 25. Juan Soto has been in the league for 7 years, and he's only 25 years old. So he's like getting
Wait,
into his prime. So
how
I
many
think
career
if he
hits
can
does he have
maintain
right
this, he can
now?
put up some really good stats. What's that?
How many career hits does he have right now?
882.
All right, we should. I know we're focusing on this, but we should honestly do a video on who is most likely that's playing right now has a chance to get to close to 3,000 hits.
Yeah, that would be a good one.
All right,
There we
so
go.
number 78 for me. You
Yep.
mentioned him in your either the first video or the second video.
Okay. Okay.
Carlton Fisk.
There we go. Nice.
Who is a 78?
My 78, you mentioned him last time. A Met legend, Mike Piazza.
Okay. What's your thoughts on Mike Piazza?
He was a really good hitting catcher. Not like a fantastic defender, but I think he was a really good all-around player, like a really good hitter. And he was really the face of the Mets, in the late '90s, early 2000s, and yeah, I feel like someone that I feel doesn't get talked enough about, like they should. So yeah, I think he's a very good player, and I think 78 for me is pretty reasonable. Like I couldn't see myself putting him much higher or lower.
So we are gonna for mine for number 77. We are gonna go back to the early days of baseball.
Okay.
The very early days of baseball. I mean, they had to allow pitchers basically coming as a starter and sometimes as a reliever. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this dude he led the lead in strikeouts 5 times in a 6 year
Yep.
span. And he won a couple triple crowns.
Mm-hmm.
He was a 5 time ERA. He won the World Series back in 1905
Gosh.
with the New York Giants before they moved over to San Fran. No
Mm-hmm.
other than Chrissy Mathewson
Oh, yep. I recognize that name. Yep.
as number 77 on my all-time
Nice.
list.
My number 77. Another modern or another player who is still playing today. We're still getting spicy on the list today. I believe that this player will eventually make the Hall of Fame. This player is a one-time MVP, 6-time Gold Glove, 8-time All-Star. And this player is in their 11th season. that being Mookie Betts.
Yes, I believe Mookie Betts will be a Hall of Famer.
He has a really
Not right
good
away. Not right away though. His first 5 years, he should be.
yeah, that's fair. Um, he's not like a power hitter, but that's not I'm not saying that's a bad thing. He's like a consistent hitter. He hits for a good average. He hits a lot of doubles, a fair amount of homers. He doesn't strike out a whole lot. He's a very good hitter and a very good defender as well. He's the type of player also where you can play him in the infield and the outfield. And he really just does a lot of things right. Like he's got some speed, he's got a little bit of power, he can hit for average, and he's a good defender. I think he's someone that, if you're like starting a baseball franchise or something like that, he's the type of player that you would want that's really versatile and that can really do a lot for you. And he's proven that in his 11-year career, and I expect him to accumulate more stats and
Mhm.
eventually, like 5 years down the road, be a higher than 77 on the list. So yeah, that's why Mookie Betts is on there.
So my 76 pick is he was a legend. He played with the Washington Senators. Then the team moved to from Washington Senators. It became to Minnesota, become the Minnesota Twins. He played with them. He played with the Warriors at his last year. He led. He's solely in the Twins to career home runs. He has his
Mm-hmm.
number retired by the Twins. No other than Harmon Killebrew
Mm-hmm. Nice.
as number 76.
Sweet. And then for my 76, another fairly modern player, retired in 2012, played for the Braves most of his career. We have Andrew Jones, the center fielder, five-time All-Star, 10-time Gold Glove. Not a fantastic hitter, but still pretty decent. Um, he had over 400 home runs. His average wasn't anything great, but he had a lot of power. And then he was a very good defender in center field as well. And had a 17-year career where he was playing center field like day in and day out. So because of that, he has good offense, very good defense, and definitely someone like in the late 90s, early 2000s that went on a stretch of winning all stars and gold gloves year after year after year.
So my 75th pick is no other than he's a legend in Minnesota Twins history. He was my idol growing up, and I actually do have his jersey I want to show off.
Yeah.
No other than the guy, the Spider Man, who loves to dive, who loves to rob home runs. No other than Toy Hunter. He made on the
Nice.
list as number 75 on the list. This kid is amazing. He played with the Twins. He played with the Angels. He played Detroit. He came back to Minnesota. Welcome home, Torrey Hunter, to finish his last year in Minnesota, which honestly, we all know he could have played at least another or two more years after that.
Awesome.
A 9-time Gold Glove. To
Mm-hmm.
me, he got in the Twins Hall of Fame. And to be honest, he is going to be a future Hall of Famer. If the
Mm-hmm.
committee does not write him in, that'll be a huge mistake, hands down.
Mm-hmm.
If
Okay.
you can let
There we
a
go. Yep.
mediocre outfielder in there who hits for average, then a guy who's one of the best outfielders in the game, that's for shame. But to be honest, we all know that Torrey Hunter should be in the Hall of Fame. And he's
Mm-hmm.
so eligible for next year's ballot. So
Yep.
hopefully he gets in. So therefore, number 75, Torrey Hunter.
All right. My 75. He is a player that I know you hate.
Okay, give
And
it to me.
And okay, I have good news though. I think he is the most overrated player in MLB history.
Okay.
However, because of his stats, I couldn't put him any. I felt like this was a respectable place for him. I think he's super overrated. I know you don't like him, but I feel like he kind of has to be on here, and that is Derek Jeter. Hmm.
That seems low for him, though.
Really, you would put him higher?
I mean, I would probably put him higher. Um,
Interesting. Okay.
he's by far one of the greatest shortstops ever played the game
Yeah.
compared to Ozzie Smith.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't say hate Jeter.
Yeah.
I'm liking
Okay.
how
Interesting.
Dustin
Yeah.
Monroe took the MVP away from him, though. I like
Yeah.
that because I'm a Twins fan. Honestly, I cannot stand the Yankees. Obviously, if you can tell, I'm a Twins fan. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, you put
Yeah.
Jeter at number 75.
Yeah. I kind of my reasoning is like he's a good hitter.
He is.
He hit for a really good average. He didn't hit many homers, but he was like a good hitter for all of his career. But he really wasn't that great of a defender. Like he made some flashy plays, but like he wasn't fantastic defensively. And I feel like he really gets overrated in the sense of like being the captain and all of this. He never won an MVP. You know, he never was really dominant or like the best player in major league or someone that you would say is like a top five player in major league baseball at any point during his career. But he did hit over three. He has over 3,000 hits, so I really couldn't put him any like below this. But I think he's crazily overrated in that he really gets boosted by the people like the
Right.
team around him in a sense. And I don't think his stats are that
Yeah.
impressive personally. So
So,
that's why
right.
he's there.
So I was really comparing with between Hunter and this guy right here that's coming up on the mention right now.
Mm-hmm.
It was really hard to me to place these two specifically, but since Toy Hunter is not a Hall of Fame yet, that's the reason why I get him the 75 spot. And the 74 spot is Al Klein, who
Mm-hmm. Yep.
just got over 3,000 career home hits. He just won one shot for 400. He did win a bang time, and this guy played in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, all his 22-year career in Detroit. So therefore, Al Klein gets number 74.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. And then for my 74, we have a player who played for the San Francisco Giants for the vast majority of his career in the 60s and 70s. We have Willie McCovey.
Oh, really,
He was an
McCovey?
MVP. Yeah,
You
he was
you
an
you probably got a lot of people get going when you said really for right away. If you heard the last say Mays at this low of a list, people will be outraged.
Yeah, I did kind of lead you on with that a little bit, but no, Willie Mays is we'll see him in maybe like episode 8, 9. We'll see. We'll see. But Willie McCovey, another Willie that played for the Giants, very good hitter. He hit over 500 home runs in his career, won an MVP, six-time All-Star. Very good hitter, especially in the late 60s and early 70s. Definitely someone that got on base a ton, hit a lot of home runs, really didn't strike out a whole lot. And then, yeah, just all around like a really good power hitter for the San Francisco Giants, who historically play at a pitcher-friendly ballpark. So, yeah. Who is your
We have a
73?
Aladdin Braves legend here that was part of the team of the 90s. He played in the 90s, early 2000s to early 2010s. He is a Hall of Famer. He probably could have got 3,000 hits or get very close to it if he played. Um, well, he only played 8 games in '93.
Hmm.
Didn't play at all 94. Because he got hurt due to injuries. 95, he came in second in Rookie of the Year,
Hmm.
which in 95, the Rookie of the Year went to Hito Nomo from the Dodgers.
Oh, oh yeah, I know who that is. He's the pitcher. Yeah, he was pretty decent. Yeah.
Probably well, maybe probably like a road choice right there though. But that's another story for later though.
Yeah,
A,
yeah.
a lot of Braves legend, a Hall of Famer, very well deserved to be on this list.
Wait, who was it?
Chipper Jones.
Oh, okay. Yep. That's who I thought, but I didn't hear you say it. So what?
And
That
also
was
won the World
seven.
Series in 1995, the last time
Hmm.
Atlanta sports team won a championship. And due
Hmm.
to the Atlanta Falcons, blew that 28-3 Super Bowl
Hmm.
lead. You're welcome, Atlanta. I'm sorry for bringing up Matt
Yeah, I
Ryan.
mean, you gotta. Yeah,
Sorry, Matt Ryan. That's football, but
yeah.
28-3.
And then my 73, we have another Cub, Cub, first baseman and shortstop, a legend in the 50s, 60s. We have Ernie Banks,
Ernie Banks. Wow.
two-time MVP, 14-time All-Star, hit over 500 home runs, hit for a decent average, very good all-around hitter.
I
And
will
then,
say Ernie Banks is in my list, but I'm not gonna tell you
okay,
where.
there we go, there we go. You know, decent defender, but just all around like a really good hitter, really good player, and very consistent as well, while playing a very tough position of shortstop. So Ernie Banks makes the list.
And number 72, out of a future, well, he should be a future Hall of Famer. He's a pitcher. He played with the Dodgers. He got sent down to work on a like a new pitch. And since he ever came back up, he's been dominant. I think he's really close to 3,000 strikeouts. No other than Clinton Kershaw.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Nice, nice.
Who's there at number 72? Who's there at 72?
72. I think we might have talked about him last episode. Correct me if I'm wrong. We have Jeff Bagwell. Did we talk about him?
No,
Do you remember? We didn't?
no.
Okay. MVP, four-time All-Star, Gold Glove. Spent his career with the Astros. He's kind of another one of these players where I felt like, he played 15 years, which is, by the way, is absolutely nothing to like scoff at or to be ashamed of. But there's a lot of players on the list that have been playing like 19, 18 seasons. I feel like if he would have played like 3 more years, he finished his career with 449 homers. If he would have played a couple more years, I feel like he could have crossed like some pretty big milestones with that. And then 2,300 hits. I don't think he would have been able to get to 3,000, but still a very good player, very good hitter throughout the 90s and early 2000s for
And
the
who's this
Astros.
again? Oh,
Jeff
Bagwell.
Bagwell. Yeah.
All right, number 71. Huh. Future Hall of Famer as well. Him and Max Scherzer is gonna go back and forth the rest of the way through their careers about jumping each other in strikeouts. Um, you know what I'm talking about. He
Hmm.
played with Detroit. He played with Houston. He played with the Mets for a little bit.
What a
Huge,
mess.
huge hard to the play right there. Came back with Houston, no other than Justin Verlander. I mean, this dude
Hmm.
was very hard to hit from in real
Hmm.
life and also in video games.
Yep. Yep.
So video games got that right.
Yeah.
He's 7 strikes for 34 career 100 home strikeouts. I do believe that he will be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Justifying number 71 and the last one in this video.
Sweet. My number 71. I did not know of this player before I started doing research, but has won 2 Cy Young awards, played in the 60s, 70s, and a little bit of the 80s. It is Gaylord Perry.
Gaylord Perry?
Yes.
Is he also
Played
the
for the
top 10 in strikeouts leaders too?
Pretty sure, yeah. Yeah.
I believe so. He's top 5.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh. Yeah, he's got quite a, I mean, 3,500 strikeouts, 2 Cy Youngs, 22-year career with a 3.11 ERA total. Just very dominant throughout various parts of his career. It's pretty interesting because his 2 Cy Youngs were when he was 32 and 39. It's kind of a late bloomer in a sense, but pitched a ton of innings, got a good amount of strikeouts,
How many
threw a
years?
ton of complete games. 22.
That's really
And then,
relatively decent. You got to play around that many years to have a good career.
oh, yeah. And then he got a ton of complete games as well. So really someone who could, finish games, and just overall like a very solid pitcher for a number of years. Played for a bunch of teams along with the Giants. There's, oh gosh, 8, I think. So he really jumped around a lot in his later career. But yeah, he is here at 71. Hillard Perry.
So we decided what's the bottom 30 of the list.
Hmm.
Let me know what your thoughts are. Do you think our list is very comparable to the guys overall? Do you think these are too
Hmm.
high, too low, or should it not be in the list? So in this list at all? Let us know down in the comments. This is segment number 3 of the mini series. Thank you so much for watching. We see you out in the next video. Deuces.
Peace.
Peace.